We started.
Just started now.
Yes.
Yes, but I can trim it if you don't. If you want it.
We started. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Paul, nice to see you all, wherever you are or what time it is, where you are. This is a talk on mostly what we're not and duality, with the hopes that the fact of non-duality will start us overriding the assumed fact of subject object. Yes. So that's all that's really necessary. It doesn't have to, it's not a, it doesn't go on, it's not like a light switch, duality, non duality. It's just an emphasis changes. So the emphasis goes into the non duality, and then that gives you a very good view of the activity of duality. Yes? So it's not like one fights the other. It's more that one is appearing in the other. So the duality is a way things appear to us. Yes? Because we're rooted in a subject objectness. And there's a lot of interest and attention in that direction. So something that's so profoundly obvious seems to be lost or not here. And all is really needed because the fact is a fact. Yeah, we are, let's say, awake, or we are awakeness. So there doesn't need to be an acquiring of it or even a realization of it because you are it. Yeah. So the whole point is to sort of get clear about what you're not. And when that clarity about what you're not disarms the activity of what you're not, then interest and attention moves, and now uh, there's more interest in a sense and attention. It's not your interest and attention, it's just more interest and attention on what you are than what you're not. So that starts overriding the influence of what you're not in your life. Yeah? What you're not's never going to override the influence of what you're not. It will just reinforce it. Yeah? Even when it wants to lose interest in itself, it's interest in itself. So there's a little bit of a conundrum, like a little Chinese torture thing, and that's just a fact. Because I wanted to read something, I misplaced this for a while, and I wanted to read this thing from Ramana, from this old thing, and this is in one of many books about his teachings. But I like the way he says it here. So there is no greater mystery than this, that being the reality ourselves, we seek to gain reality. So I just want to stop here. So in the idea of non-duality, the assumption is we are what we are looking for. Yeah, the assumption is we are that, as he just stated here. He calls us reality. Yeah, it says there is no greater mystery than this, that being the reality ourselves. Yeah, not understanding the reality ourselves, not having it, not once had it and lost it, but being the reality ourselves right now. That's sort of why the way St. Francis said is what's looking is what you're looking for. He didn't put any time or location for that to be so. It's just a fact. What's looking is what you're looking for. And in a sense, that being the reality ourselves, we seek to gain reality. There is no greater mystery than this, that being the reality ourselves, we seek to gain reality. So we are the living of this mystery that has no fact involved in it other than the fact that what we're looking for is what's looking, which is reality. Yeah. So when we're looking for reality, we're using reality to find reality. You see? Yeah. So the only reality you're going to find is something that's not real, like a conceptual reality or a conditional reality or a circumstantial reality or a reality that gives length to that which comes and goes, yeah, that which arises and just departs, yeah, that's not reality, yeah. So the great mystery is being reality ourselves, we seek to attain reality. Now, how could that be? Not only how could that start but continue in time? There must be an activity going on that's assuming we're something other than reality. Yes? We're being something other than reality. So we're being Paul, and we're being Mike, and we're being Judith and Kerry. We're not being reality. Being ourselves is not being reality. It's being, see, the statement is being reality ourselves, but being ourselves isn't reality. Being ourselves is the act of denying reality. Yeah. It is. It has, So basically, that's why you can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha. That statement is based on the same fact that this statement's on. Being reality ourselves and seeking to attain reality. You can see that's not going to work out well. Yeah, it's just going to reinforce the unreality. That's why the same statement is using the Buddha to seek the Buddha isn't going to go anywhere. So being reality ourselves, using ourselves to attain reality doesn't work. Yeah, that's it. That's the explanation. So let's say shit hasn't worked, and the explanation the mental state has given us is we haven't done enough, we should do more, I'm not super sincere, it isn't the top of my priority, I've got to concentrate, I need to practice mindfulness, I've got to focus, I got to be vigilant, I've got to open my heart, I got to do tons of this stuff. Yeah? No, why it hasn't worked isn't based on any of that. It's not based that you did too little and you needed to do more. It's based on being reality ourselves, seeking to attain reality. Yes, that's it. That's the non-duality answer to the conundrum we run into, because we work so hard to maintain a certain condition, let's say we call spiritual. We try to go to places that are outside the daily living, and usually now I call them the upper middle way. They're very nice. You get great food, no phone calls from people you owe money to, maybe massages, who knows. And so, yeah, in that sense, you can have your outer circumstances, which are emotions and thinking like that. This is the outer, yeah? This isn't, yeah, what can be perceived would be the outer, and what's perceiving isn't, So, this outer and this outer, trying to get those conditions all lined up to feel something that we can't seem to feel any other way, that's not it. The simple thing is, could that be construed as using reality to attain reality, all the while being reality? I feel so. I feel in most cases it's true. Yeah? So what's one to do? Let the message hit you, and it's not on you. It's not like you didn't do enough. Yeah? It was all mistaken. Reality can't attain reality because it's reality. Yeah? It's that simple. All right? End of story. Man, all right, a lot of guilt and shame and fucking just lifts off. Yeah? And who's the better for it? What you're not, really. So what you're not realizes sooner or later that something that it's not is doing for it what it can't do for itself. Yeah, reality. peace. So now, seeing that what you're not, you're able to be had by peace. You're able to be had by reality. You're able to be had by truth because you're not had by all the other shit. Yeah? So you're up for grabs, and now you're in the right hands, so to speak. And so enough interest and attention has moved out of the obsession with this idea of self and now is resting in presence, yeah? Which lends a relief from the bondage of self, but not through the self, yeah? From the self. So you come to a lot of rude awakenings. One of them is you're the reason why it hasn't worked. Yeah, it's like you're the reason why the party sucks that you heard was so great when you arrived there. That's the thing. You can't. The party can't be great with you arriving there. That's the dilemma. Yeah, you keep trying it. I want to get it. I want to experience my own absence. You can't. It's impossible. That which wants to experience your own absence would be absent. That's what we want to be absent. That which wants to experience its own absence. We want that to be absent. And you know, thank God it actually is. Yeah. It only appears to be present when being reality ourselves, we lend some of that reality to this storyline, this dreamt activity, this action figure. And so we're never being Paul ourselves. We were Paul, we're going to be Paul. Yeah? But being reality ourselves, that's the only way reality is being, is now. Yeah? Being reality. It's not, oh, I was reality, somehow I lost it along the way. I'm hoping that I will be reality later. No, being it now. Yeah? Always now. Always now. Always now. No time has to pass because there's no point that you're moving from and moving towards. Yeah? It's just here and now. Yeah? So he says here, I'm happy I found this again because I like this. Because this is one of the big ones you hear quite a lot in all these meetings. And that is, let me see if I can find it. It's about the self-will and predestination. All right. Let me get it. Oh, here he goes. So one of the people at his meeting asked them, has man any free will or is everything in his life predetermined? Yeah. Ramana says, free will exists together with the individuality. Yeah. As long as the individuality lasts, so long is there free will. Yeah. So that which you're not, that feeling of individuality, yeah, has a sense of free will. That's where those questions come from. Instead of talking about the free will or predestination, see if there's an individual. Yeah? So he says it beautifully right here. Find out who it is who has free will or predestination and abide in that state. Yeah? Instead of right now abiding in the state of what you're not, find out who is it. You'll realize there's no one, and you'll be abiding in the state of as you are. Yeah? There's going to be abiding either way. Yeah? So, find out who it is who has free will or predestination, and abide in that state. Then both are transcended. That is the only purpose in discussing these questions. To whom do such questions present themselves? Discover that and be at peace. Because what you're going to find, that who's concerned about these topics is not us. Yeah? So there'll be a loss of interest in it. And when that loss of interest in it, there's seemingly an interest gained in the presence. to the point that the presence now has more stock than what you're not has. Yeah? So it has the majority vote in how the day is perceived. So now you see life from presence instead of looking at life from the mental activity. And where does the relief arrive at from seeing it from presence? In the experience of the mental activity. That's where it does. So the relief is in this place, but is not of this place. Yeah. I'm wondering why I can't see anyone in the squares. I'm trying to look through these reading glasses. So yeah, just put it out there. The idea, do you see that free will and predestination, the interest in all that is based on the individualism? Yeah. That sense of being a long-lasting, independent, separate entity spawns all these other topics and all the interest towards those topics. But all of them are, the free will, as he says so beautifully, is completely dependent on the sense of individuality. As long as that sense exists, so does the free will feeling. Yes? You could use tons of things that could be talked about after. They're all the interest in all of those topics is based on the individuality. If you're not the individuality, you'll lose interest in those topics. Yes? Hence, probably not many questions. Until Zoom arrived. And then, yeah. Now we got to make them up to have this contact. But and there's that value again. The real value in these questions, and the only purpose in discussing these questions is to find out to whom do such questions present themselves. Yes? The questions come with the sense of individuality. Don't you see? And their real value is to go, instead of looking for the answer to the question, is to see who is the questioner. Yeah? That's their value. And when it's not you, when you realize I'm not that, abide in that state. Yeah? Which is finally ourselves being reality. Yeah? Instead of ourselves being screwed, ourselves being this, ourselves being worried about next week, ourselves about this, or that. No, ourselves being reality. Yeah. Wow. Anything can go in the dreaming. It doesn't mean, could you imagine when people try to look like their reality as an individuality? They usually have a big stick up the anus, yeah? Because they have some idea they're supposed to speak very slowly and look very lovingly at all times. It's so crazy. It can look any way it wants to because we're not of that. Yeah? The hand could put any puppet character on. Any one of them. Yeah? The puppet character has nothing to do with it. To me, that we're all art projects. Thank God. Yeah, can you imagine if we all had a certain being ourselves reality, we acted like a fucking, saintly drone? That would suck. All right, well, that to me is the assumption of non-duality. Just to read it once again. Being ourselves reality. Yeah? If there's an argument at that point, you may be in the wrong store. Yes? But if you're open to that as the assumption that the talks are based on, the talks, why the importance is on what we're not, is based completely that being ourselves reality. Yeah? Being ourselves reality, the importance now is about what we're not. Obviously. If it was being ourselves, a seeker, very lost, whatever, then the emphasis would be on reality. And we would talk about what it would be like to be reality or whatever, and or how other people in the past gained reality and what we may need to do to arrive at reality. But the underlying assumption of the meaning, every meaning, is being ourselves reality. We're now going to turn and look at what we're not. Yes? If it was being ourselves screwed up, it would be a whole different view. Yeah? But screw up, not screw up can appear, but the fact is being ourselves reality, okay, I'm open to that. All right, well, let's look at what we're not. Yeah, because obviously what we're not seems to be the presentation of a denial of being ourselves reality. Yeah, that's what it is, really. As the Course in Miracles says on that page, firm in faith in this something else we made to be ourselves, we're actively denying what we are. Yeah. So in a weird way, if this preoccupation is the active denial of what we are, it would be insane to try to use this to affirm what we are. Yeah? I don't know. It would seem to be, it would have two different agendas. It would be like not working. Yeah? Its whole point is to be the visual presentation of separation, long-lasting, independent, separate things. All this, the emphasis on a thing is supreme. Yeah? To have that be the one that's going to lead the search for reality seems like an insane idea. I would think it would use the search for reality to reinforce the reality it believes it is. Yes? And how long do you have to convince it otherwise? I would just recognize the fallacy or the limitation of the program and maybe don't use anything. Yeah? I mean, bring the antennas down. Just shut the search for intelligence life out there. Just shut it down and see if there's intelligence life here. I don't know. I don't mean we can shut it down, but in a way it shuts down when there's a recognition of the true futility of using what you are to look for it. Yeah? It's so freeing. And it's a freeing that establishes, yeah? It isn't a coming and going thing. It can establish, and that will be a fact in your life. Yeah? The whole fooling around and getting confused and misled won't be there. There'll be a convinced that this is so, no matter what goes on. Yeah? This place needs to be reinforced all day. But the truth doesn't. The truth can stand on its own. It doesn't need our help. Yeah? Being ourselves reality, where are you going to go from there? Yeah? I think I want to make a shirt with that. Being ourselves of reality. You go to the market, you go to Whole Foods, you do this. What? Oh yeah. Being ourselves reality, we can look like a huge asshole. Well, I think that's a nice way to start the meetings. Let's start it with being ourselves reality. Open up the Release the Krakens. All right, Mike. Thank you.
No hands yet. And today's course lesson is exactly the same stuff about reality, trying to apprehend reality. Can I read a couple paragraphs from today's lesson?
Yeah.
And just for those that don't know it, it does add kind of like downstream elements, like Paul brings up guilt, and in this particular case, it's questioning worth. But leaving that aside, it sounds exactly the same. Who is the doubter? What is it he doubts? Whom does he question? Who can answer him? He merely states that he is not himself, and therefore, being something else becomes a questioner of what that something is. Yet, he could never be alive at all unless he knew the answer. If he asks as if he does not know, it merely shows he does not want to be the thing he is. He has accepted it because he lives, has judged against it and denied its worth, and has decided that he does not know the only certainty by which he lives. Thus he becomes uncertain of his life, for what it is has been denied by him. It is for this denial that you need atonement. Your denial made no change in what you are, but you have split your mind into what knows and does not know the truth. You are yourself. There is no doubt of this, and yet you doubt it. But you do not ask what part of you can really doubt yourself. It cannot really be a part of you that asks this question, or it asks of one who knows the answer. Were it part of you, then certainty would be impossible.
Yes.
You think it sounds exactly the same?
Yes.
Except for the worth, and the atonement.
Yeah. It's presented a lot of times with a lot of words, but the nut's always in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I knew.
I'm going to just start with being ourselves reality.
Yeah. Yeah. And the lesson does end up with like, okay, let's put that stuff aside now.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get the thing because it's the same thing with firm in faith in this something else to be yourself. Yeah. Yes. See, it's like a statement of what is it you know that you don't want to know. Or you could say what is it you are that you don't want to be what you are, whatever. Yeah. There's a denial, an act of denial. Yeah.
Anu raised your hand. Ready?
Hey, Paul, how are you?
Good. Who's this?
Anu.
This is Anu.
Oh, Anu. How are you, Anu?
I'm good. I'm glad, for the record, you're not a saintly drone. It would not be a good look on you, I think.
The what?
I'm glad you're not a saintly drone.
Oh, no. Yeah. No.
I had a question.
You can't have a New York accent with the saintly drone. It doesn't work.
No, would not.
No.
The question that I had was, you said that the thought rises and then the mental state rises to take ownership of that, right? So just mulling that over, that means that there's nobody really doing anything. There's nobody thinking, and I'm assuming if I apply it, there's nobody doing anything or deciding anything or smelling or touching. So, okay. So basically this voice, the ownership or the me or the I, basically just like a annoying roommate who just has a running commentary on I like this and I don't like this, but after the fact when it doesn't matter anymore.
Yes.
So it's a totally useless, negative, unhappy voice in the head. So it doesn't really affect anything in our life except make us miserable.
Well, it can, or it can be a vast treasure trove of comedic moments.
But it doesn't really make any decisions or.
No, but it claims that it claims decisions have been made. Yes. Yes. So basically, something's happening, and then there's an interpretation of that happening, in a self-centered manner. Yes? So let's say what's happening is just all happening. Yeah? Verbing. Yeah? The mental process reaction to verbing is to try to find a noun in there. Yeah? And finding no noun, it places one in there with the interpretation. Yeah? So now it switches it to noun. Actually, it wouldn't be so bad if it was actually what happens, which would be verb noun. It switches it to noun verb. Yeah. So we don't see the verb comes first, and then there's a claiming, and then the noun is presupposed. We see everything from the noun first. Yeah, that's called self-centeredness, really. Yeah. So it would be an upgrade if you could see the verbing and then how the verbs get claimed and then the noun is supposed, and then witness the presupposing of it, as Ramana says, of the noun being before all the verbs. Yeah, because most of us are living there. Not living, where we're living out an interpretation with that dynamic. Noun, verb, yes? Yeah. And if only the verbs would change sufficiently, and a lot of them would be other nouns, we would really do great as a noun. And despite tons of evidence to the contrary, it stubbornly keeps pushing on. And because we've taken ourselves to be the manufacturing of that activity, we can't seem to get out of it, because getting out of it would be more being in it. Yeah. So we get caught by one of its nets, which is self can't get out of self. Yeah. So the noun tries to get out of the noun, which is just more nouning. Yes. Yeah. So how do you get out of it? There's a realization, being reality ourselves, we're not the noun. Yeah. That's all. See, we're not saying we're not the noun as the noun. I point that out. That doesn't work. If you before you say that, you put being reality ourselves, we're not the noun. So when you see from reality, you're not the noun. You never were the noun, and you're never going to be the noun. And it's not charged. It's not like, God damn that noun. No, it's just a clear, you're not the noun. It doesn't have a giant, fucking animalistic punch. It's just a matter of fact. All rooted in being reality ourselves. How could we be a noun? Exactly. Yeah. So instead of having thousands of questions, really you could answer every question with, hey, being reality ourselves. Yeah. Your question, is whatever, misdirected, so to speak. Yeah. So I'm on to that tonight. I like that way.
Yeah, it's very free thought. Definitely lightens the load a lot to feel that you're not responsible for all the stuff that happened.
Oh yeah, that's so much burden. In the course, like Mike brought up, that's like the engine and the storage of guilt. Yeah. So I had a very strong experience when I was younger. When I was around 6 years old, my father got very ill. Yeah. So my mother sat me down and told me, hey, Paul, Dad isn't going to be able to take you to the park, and tried to explain that things were going to change. Yeah. And try to assure me I had nothing to do with it, let's say. Dad's very ill. Even brought our family doctor. Back then you'd have a family doctor, Dr. Jan Quinto, and he sat me down and told me the medical thing. But how I felt about it is, what did I do to cause my father not to want to play with me? This is that view of self. Yes? That self view from that idea of self. Feeling like I was completely responsible for everything. It was so much weight being put on me, yes? And that's the only way I could intellectually understand something different, but the visceral feeling was in that feeling of what did I do to cause my father not to want to play with me. This is that's like the nucleus of the manufacturing of self. Yes, is that. So in the course they talk about it as guilt or whatever. But yeah, when this message, when you see you're not that, a lot of that weight, gets reconfigured. Yeah, and instead of being like dead weight in a mental storage unit, it's used to enrich your day. Yes, yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you for the answer. I also had a quick share for you. I think last week you said something that stuck in my mind was let it land. Don't protect yourself. And it's been wonderful. I think that's been like the mantra for this week. And I had like was feeling really down and very miserable with a lot of negativity floating around, but had like a few seconds of just sunshine kind of peek through. So I was very grateful.
Wow, great. Yes, well, there'll be more of that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, because it's like installing or a new weather front will take over. Yeah. Yeah, you don't use people see weather a lot, but sometimes a weather front sort of sits for a while and it can become the norm. Yeah. And then then what you expect is more based on what the weather front's going to allow than anything else. Well, there's a new weather front in the atmosphere will show up. Yes. A lot of open space. Yeah. A lot of possibilities. Yeah. And a lot of them have nothing, there's nothing to do. It's just, yeah, yeah, it's great. All right, thanks, Anu. I'm always happy to speak with you.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah.
Thanks, Anu. And JP.
JP from Vietnam, yes.
Hi, Paul. Hi. Yeah. Hi, Paul. Hi, everyone. I was just, it's not so much a question, but kind of like just an observation, I think. It's like talking about, the reality of myself or, I am my reality. And what comes up is, I'm my own surprise in that moment. I have no idea what I'm going to do, and whatever I do is okay. And there's not even a question of wanting or not wanting, and so there's no question of whether, it's, whether I need to make a decision or not. It's just naturally what I'm doing, and this is exactly what I want to do, so to speak. And then also seeing it from the other perspective, which is kind of like a living hell in a way. It's kind of like wanting myself to be this or that. Am I making the right decision or the wrong decision? And all the shoulds and shouldn'ts, and all the trying to make myself a better action figure and not being able to, and failing and then trying again. And I think realizing also that that actually in that kind of state, it's like there is no choice, there is no power. It's like I try really hard and there is no real choice. So and then kind of like it's like kind of you were saying about at some point you're talking about verbing rather than nouning. And and I see that when I am in my reality, that's a wonderful way to live, to live my life. It's really like a lot lighter. It is traveling lighter. It's like the character is not nouning anymore. It's verbing and then taking accountability when it needs to. It's not guilt anymore. It's accountability. And it's just not so heavy anymore. It's like I can apologize and it's not me. I'm just taking accountability, so yeah, I just wanted to share that because it's kind of like really clear for me at the moment.
Great. Yes. Well, it's clear in the moment, not to you, but clear. Yes. It's clear in the moment. Yeah. That's great. I love to hear this. it's never a surprise to me because I have faith in the message and the power of it. And just simple repetition of being ourselves reality does wonders here, because being ourselves not reality tends to cause a lot of fucking shit, to tell you the truth. Yeah, it's sort of like the noun, a lot of shit, you know, something that's moving, it's hard to, you know, dust doesn't build up on a verb, you know? Dust builds up on a noun. Yeah, you know what I mean? This is what happens. So we get, when a noun is reinforced by the idea that you're the thinker, at that point, when the noun is the thinker, it now is owned by thoughts. Yeah? Yeah? When you were younger, thoughts weren't owning your day, were they? You didn't know you were the thinker. You had no idea. They were just showing up and you were playing and whatever. Probably wasn't even following much of them. Yeah. And then there was an owning of the thinking, and you were now crowned the thinker, and then suddenly your life was owned by thoughts. Yeah. Your day could be owned by thoughts. Yeah. Same thing with feelings. Once the feeler is presented, feelings have the ability now, they're given the ability through us to ruin the feeler's day. See, in ownership, I'm talking about the activity of duality. In ownership, it's a two-way street. What there's a claiming of owning owns you, has the ability to own you. Yes? You see? When that starts weakening, you just travel lighter. And what more do we want, really? Yeah, really. What more do we want? What is really the pressing thing? I'm uncomfortable or something or whatever, yeah? There's always been an unease, let's say, in unrecovered people and alcoholic in AA and stuff. It's irritable, restless, and discontent. So basically, all we really would hope to have stabilized is traveling lighter through this event, yeah? And there's ways that can be supported, and there's ways that it's not supported, yeah? So let's say if you have very, very strict pictures and ideas of how love's going to come in your life, you're going to miss a lot of deliveries. Yeah, because you're stuck on, it's got to look a certain way. So hopefully this shit falls off and you start reeling, and then the pride of being the doer hopefully gets humbled enough so you can be grateful for something doing for you what you can't do for yourself. Instead of fucking seeing that as Armageddon or a terrible day, it's hallelujah. Yeah, because, so this whole thing, I've watched thousands of people at these talks, yeah, tons of them, yeah, and I've seen people entertain these ideas rooted in being ourselves reality, yeah. This is the primary. See, it would be better in a way, instead of calling it non-duality, it would be nicely to say being ourselves reality, yeah, because non-duality gets a little, what the fuck is that, But being ourselves reality, and then making sure, because the ourselves will be seen as what we're not, give you all the warnings, yeah? All right, because that which is saying it's reality that's not the reality, yeah? It's not saying thinking ourselves the reality, pronouncing ourselves reality. No, it's being ourselves reality. Being. No activities like thinking, shit like that. Just your inherent condition on. Yeah. Being ourselves reality, let's look at what we're not. Yeah. That's the whole point. Yeah. Yeah. If we weren't reality, we would try to look for reality. Obviously, that would make sense, because maybe a lot of the troubles that we get up to is because reality isn't clear. Yeah? So then, yeah, that would you know, that would probably, after you've had like a lot of failures and shit, it would probably lead you to maybe, you know, making a decision or hoping to have a drive to find reality because nothing else has worked. Yeah, but being ourselves reality, that doesn't work. Yeah? You could give me an incredible statement of your 40-year process to become reality, but being ourselves reality gives it a whole, puts a whole different light on it. It says, "What?" You know? Yeah. Now, 40 years, I would have liked to get off the spiritual bus in a day based on being ourselves reality. I would have. You know, 40 years doesn't spin my top. I'm like, what? Fuck. I think I would love to start with before every conversation starts, I'd love to have a little blurb go off. Being ourselves reality. All right, let's go. That's non-duality. That's the premise, yeah? He stated it right there. Don't call it non-duality. It's being ourselves reality. We can't use ourselves to find ourselves. Yes? We can't use reality to find reality because reality has never been lost. Yeah, it's reality. So everything that comes after, all the buts, all the this, oh, but wait a minute, oh, I beg to differ. All right, but first point is being ourselves reality. I had this lady I used to know, hadn't seen her in years, yeah? She came in and called me and wanted to get a coffee. So I went with her. She's traveled all around the world, and she became like a psychiatrist, yeah? So we get in the car, and she knows sort of what I do and stuff. So she starts her thing about, based on we're real, you know, and we're people who are mixed up. And so she went off and presented her case. And I said, I don't want to talk because our premises are different. Yeah? Your whole riff is based on a premise I don't agree with. That this place is real. I don't. So let's not talk and have a nice coffee. Because it's not a win-win situation. Yeah? So this is the premise. Everyone here. Being means that's your present state, present tense state. Yes? Being. It doesn't put any time consideration in it. Being ourselves reality. Yeah? That's it. We are now going to look at what we're not. Because it seems here, what we're not can it can appear to reality that it's forgotten itself by being obsessed with what it's not. Yeah? So the dreaming, forgets its dreaming by being identified as the dreamt. Is it true that it's the dreamt? No. That's the beauty of the message, yeah? It's not like it's not any heavy lifting because, yeah, you're not that. Yeah, you've never not been reality, yeah? No matter the most heinous thing didn't disqualify you. The most virtuous thing didn't get you a premier seat in the front of the plane. Reality, yeah? Being ourselves reality. We do some crazy shit. There's not conflict there. There's crazy shit happening seemingly here. All the while being ourselves reality. Yeah? It's not like that's first and that has to be conditioned for us to be ourselves reality. No. The primary point is being ourselves reality. All the other shit is secondary. The head wants to put the secondary before being ourselves reality. and give us the hope, well, maybe one day we'll become what we really are. Give me a freaking break. Yeah? So you're just, it's a great report. You're losing interest in something that really, really, you know, it's more like a black hole. That interest, it's like money badly spent, so to speak, in a lot of ways. So yes. And anyone correct me if I'm wrong. I think the essence of non-duality is being ourselves reality. That's the point. Yeah. And then we're going to, from there, I don't care if it feels true or not. That's the assumption that we're going to look at everything else from. Yeah. That's the only hope we have, really. Because if it's all about what we're not as what we're not, it doesn't go anywhere. Fortunately, being ourselves reality, that what we're not can be overridden. Yeah? It can appear, but take a very small part of the screen instead of being the whole screen. Yes? And that's brought about by interest and attention. You will lose interest in this activity when there's a recognition it's not you. Just like you lose an interest in a conversation in the other room when you hear they're not talking about you. Same, yeah? There'll be a loss of interest, and that interest is going to go somewhere, yeah? And you'll find out where it goes. It probably won't go anywhere, really. Yeah? It will stop. What you know, the idea of what we're not, there's a lot of direction of interest and attention to those activities that reinforce and fortify that fucking crazy idea. A lot of that interest and attention will just stop. To me, that's presence. Presence is like undirected interest and attention, really. And just, and now you're awake to being awake. Yeah. Instead of seemingly asleep to being awake. The awakeness is the fact. Being ourselves reality is the fact. And if you don't believe it, you know, fucking argue with Ramana Maharshi. I'm just, yeah. Call him up if you can. Yeah. So, yeah, anyone else?
Thank you, JP. Keith from Boise. Keith of Boise.
Keith from Idaho.
Hey there, Paul. I really want to say that what you're hitting on right now is what I brought to the meeting tonight. I wasn't aware that I wanted to share it, but it's just so totally relevant. It's hard to give enough emphasis to how when this construct is seen through, or this activity is seen through that leads to the construct, the loss of interest is it's hard to describe, and I don't even have enough interest in trying to describe it. That's how.
Exactly.
So I'm going to give a couple of examples of how before this message, and I'm going to give a couple of examples of how I have attempted to resolve this in the past. One was, and by the way, it has to do with recurring interactions with a couple of family members, let's say. There was once a period of time when the solution to the problem, perceived problem of being who I am in the family system, was to educate myself on, well, as the third of four, I played a certain role. So the assumption was, by understanding that role, I would be free of it. Well, that's a fool's errand, because by educating myself on the role, I deepened my relationship with the role in the name of getting enlightened about the role. Then there was a phase with family members when I assiduously practiced Buddhist letting go. Well, active efforts to let go reinforce attachment. So those two as examples compared to this. This is, I have a brother, same brother, and he periodically comes after me with, yeah, that's what it feels like, with a zinger of some kind, with a text or an email. And there's just the awareness of a loss of interest, a genuine loss of interest. And it's no effort. In fact, it's the opposite of effort. No effort to maintain the loss of interest. Just as there's an awareness of how this would have once riled me. And I'm just aware that I don't have anything to give back that's being given. And if that's what burning of karma is, I would imagine it is that. Genuine loss of interest is probably what it would be the opposite of accumulating karma. But it has to be genuine loss of interest. And by the way, every now and then this brother, this week, the reason this is kind of rich, he sent me a zinger and I actually found that it provoked me. And that's okay too, because I can now be interested in that as something that arose, that got a bite, and I can say, oh, there's some residue of the selfing process. It's not really active right now, but it came up right now. I feel snagged by it, or there's a catch. Hey, I can be interested in that and let it go. And by just allowing it, that's the thing. Just allowing it, which requires no effort at all. It's like allowing the clouds. Do I have any effort involved in allowing the clouds today? That's a lot of work. No, I don't. I just behold them. So I beheld that my brother kind of bing, and I felt, oh, that's where I respond. And I said, oh, and I let it rose and surfaced and evaporated. So anyway, just really want to sing the praises of the loss of interest when it really is that. And attention can go to so much else. I don't read about family systems. I can't imagine reading another book about Buddhism. If I do, it won't be with any effort to improve anything. It'll be because I'm interested in history, perhaps, whatever. But I don't anticipate it. So just the emphasis here is when I see that that's what I'm not, when there's a recognition I'm not that, interest can go so many other places, and it does. Okay, so that's what I want to share. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you, Keith. Thanks for the report. Yeah. The point is, the loss of interest usually reveals there was a lot of interest in things, in other things. Yeah. There's usually it's a dualistic understanding. There's a loss in something, and then you see, there was a whole lot of interest in that other thing. You don't know it when you're in it, seemingly, yeah? So when some of the interest is removed, you realize, wow, that thing was a glutton for interest, sucking it up like a gravitational vacuum, yeah?
And if there's one truth from the whole family systems thing that is relevant to this, it is that when one member of a family system genuinely changes, the whole system will be perturbed. It does change the balance of things. And I'm aware, not that there's been any great accomplishment. It's a non-accomplishment of this loss of interest in playing the Keith role. That's expected. I see evidence of it, of my withdrawal as, the energy that went to Keith has to go a little someplace else, and see if there's going to be a new scapegoat or a new, tormentor. It's a little bit like in The Office, the TV show The Office. It really depended on Steve Carell being Michael Scott. And then in season 6, he said, I don't want to do this anymore. Steve Carell, I want to be in movies and other kind of stuff. So they tried 2 more seasons and they kept bringing in new office managers. It didn't work anymore. The show began, he wasn't willing to keep being the self called Michael Scott. So it is fun to watch the system, the network of relationships in your life when your interest genuinely goes someplace else and you don't have any interest in scoring the point, it's fun to watch. It's just fun to watch.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you're welcome. And thank you. Thanks to this message. That's really very clear. Thanks to this message. Keeps getting richer.
Yeah, it's like remember all those lousy shows they syndicate and they put on daytime, and if one of the characters changes, the whole show.
Yeah.
They're all needed to be. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's got to
Yeah,
stay in
it's like
character.
an unspoken it's like a contract almost. Yes. So people have a certain contract, and yeah, when one of them breaks it, yeah, you can see the whole. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Well,
Yeah.
thanks, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Keith. No other hands. Anybody else want to raise their hand?
How's Mike? You're really looking. That's pretty good. I like that stare. You're looking for a hand.
What do you mean?
It's okay.
Oh, I
we
see.
don't need.
Okay, I found one. Paul. Okay, is that PK?
Who's Yes, anyone? Stacy,
Yes,
what's
yeah.
going on there? Stacy from LA.
Hey, Paul.
If I can unmute, start video.
Oh, I think you got someone with a real question. I'll let you answer that.
We'll come back.
Okay.
All right, who's the
It's PK, Long Island PK.
Oh, PK,
Yes.
how are you?
Hey, man, just wanted to say I love it. When every time you talk about a conviction, I'm like, man, this is a conviction I want on my record. Like, I want this conviction to stick. And the beauty is, you know, as I listen to you, I don't even have to do anything for the conviction to stick. But being this conviction, it's just such a beautiful thing where otherwise you're trying to, you know, hope that the conviction doesn't stick. But this is amazing stuff, man. And I just love, even though, like what Keith was saying too about losing interest, I try to lose interest in the seeming sense of Paul Hedderman. But man, I just keep coming back because it's like a smack in the face. It's like a reconnection to myself, to my true self, or seeming sense of self, or whatever it is. I don't know, something in the water. But I love it. I mean, I really think that it, you know, it's just crazy. But it really just, you know, I guess the thing too is when you think about it, then you're in the intellect, you know, so it's almost like you can't get it, but that's the joy of it. And I just love it, man. And that's, to me, the whole idea of keep coming back. When you keep coming back to these concepts and to these people, seeming senses of people and experiences and situations, what formerly would have crushed us and debilitated us and made us not want to, you know, lose our will to live. For me, this gives me, I love it. I'm a convict, you know, but my conviction is just on, like, trying, you know, like you said, just to be present and to be, you know, I mean, I can't, like what Keith was saying, he's losing the energy of Keith, but I can't completely lose the energy of Paul, PK, but I can certainly reduce it so that the real traveler of the vehicle or seeming sense of it is just like you said, you know, life's happening and we're here, and that's the traveling lighter, man. I'll tell you, man, you must have beat me up when we were in Rockville Center and sold me oregano, but hey, man,
I enjoyed that also.
it cracks me up, man. It's great.
Well, I'm happy to see you, my friend. Yeah. Long live Rockville Center. thing is, everything would be different, obviously, or it could look exactly the same but be different. If life started being ourselves reality, instead of being ourselves a loser or fucked up or unable to have a viable relationship with another person or tons of other things, it would be nice to have that little idea lit up as you're living, yeah? Being ourselves reality. Not chanting it like a mantra, having that lit up, like a part of your house, yeah? That light always being on, yeah? So no
It's
matter
like a
how you
given,
got
right?
lost in the other rooms in the house, you could always find that house, yes? That
So
room,
it's almost like you were
always.
saying, like a given, like where it's almost like it's built in. You
Well,
don't
it
have to keep
is. That's the great news. It's just, in other words, let's say you live in a house for 80 years, but basically you lived upon a floor, yeah? The floor of the house was what was supporting you. This is like having a whole new floor, yeah? Sort of like the idea of, I remember we used to have a little joke about the vacuum salesman coming over to sell me a vacuum. Uh, Incredibly good salesman, but I didn't have any rugs. I just had hardwood floors. So no matter how good his pitch was, I wasn't going to buy a vacuum because I don't have any rugs, yeah? That's sort of what it's like. It's sort of like when we had this story about going to Turkey, and we had this guy volunteer to be our guide and show us this place, the Blue Mosque, and this place called the Sophia. Very nice gentleman with a suit and grayish black hair, and he brought us to this red brick building, knocked on a door, and someone looked just like him came, and he sort of passed us off to this other person, and they brought us into a rug emporium, yeah? And they started bringing out all these rugs, and they said, Mr. Paul, do you want to have a Turkish coffee or some apple juice? And I said, I'll have apple juice. And they brought me and these other people in, and they went on bringing, it was an incredible show. But I was the thing is, I didn't have a house. I was traveling around the world, yeah? So no matter how much the rugs, and they would say, well, we can fold it and put it in your knapsack. I go, I'm not going to bring a rug to Thailand, you know. And so I had a built-in immunity to buying a rug because I had no place to live. Yeah. So this is what it's sort of like. So having the flaw of being ourselves reality changes every fucking thing else. Yeah.
But do you
Or
feel like
has
this
the
still?
potential to change everything else. Yes? Just that
Do you feel,
simple statement. Instead of being ourselves a long-lasting, independent, separate entity, which then there's a huge narration and a life of interpretation based on that. Yeah?
so is it like a fake, like the magic carpet ride, where like you believe the rug is you and you believe it can take you anywhere, but in actuality, there's no floor to put the rug on.
There's no
So
flaw,
you
bro.
don't have to do
Exactly. The other
anything.
thing is,
It's,
there's no need for something. That's because we live completely in need here. Yeah, we need food, clothing, shelter, yes, but some people have that, but they're still on a survival level. The mental state has brought so many things into levels of wants to extend desires to just keep fermenting more agitation and more agitation. And then that agitation leads to an anxiety, and then we end up relying on self, which is the failed system. Yeah?
it's great stuff, Matt. I
Non-duality
mean,
presenting another fact, which is being ourselves reality. Yeah, not that, you know. It's not. In other words, it's negating the reality that the mental state has lent itself by stating the fact being ourselves reality. Yeah. So
you know,
whatever's
I love that.
masquerading as reality is shown Because being ourselves reality. Yes. Yeah.
That's,
I don't.
to me, this
I'm
is the
stuck on
best
these
book,
three
I've
words.
ever
I
read,
don't know
man.
why. I just they've been the theme of my day, my night right now.
I
I
love
just love how it sounds beautifully. Being by the way, being ourselves reality. Yeah. You can't be using yourself to find yourself. Woo! Yeah. So yes, thank you, PK.
All right.
Thanks, PK. Anybody else want to raise their hand?
Nah, let's say goodbye.
Okay. I was just letting PK know that in our ignorance, when we're acting as though we're not reality already, we're compelled to by flying carpets by by the innateness of being reality.
Yes. Remember, it's not our ignorance, just ignorance.
No,
Ignorance
just
flying around.
in dreaming. In dreaming. Yeah, no, I like
Well,
that
listen,
term.
I've had a nice evening. Let's say goodnight, eh? Let me say hello and to Mike. Thank you, Mike, for all the service. And we come up against Kerry and Judith. Yes.
Oh, we love you.
We love you, Paul.
That's awesome.
Yes,
Well,
the carpet salesman don't come around here anymore. We have no floor.
That's right. That's right.
I,
Uh,
I wait for them, but they don't come. They lost interest in me and I'm we all lost interest. No floor.
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Beautiful. And
Not a
your
bad way
message
to
is
live.
flawless. Your message is flawless. It's beautiful. You're beautiful. This was a needed, much needed aspect viewing in my life, because the action figure Judith was in mystery, trying to attain reality for so long. So thank
Yeah.
you for putting a stop to it, or
Yeah,
show me
great.
the way on how to do it for myself.
Great. Yeah.
It's
All
beautiful.
right. Thank
Paul.
you, guys. I'll be seeing you soon sometime, physically.
Yes,
Yes.
we're waiting for you.
Yes. Just start sending me the surf reports and that'll get me motivated. Yeah. Yeah. We got Geo. Nice to see you, Geo. Yeah. All's well. We got Kenneth from Vancouver. Yeah. Brandon, our one of the. Did you see? I don't know if the new things on the website went up. I think on the donate thing, it's your music, I think, and then following an old Toyota driving around in England. Great. It's a really, I don't know if they put it up yet, but they showed me the other day, Dimitri and Julie. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It really brings out the best of the video, the music. Yeah, it's great. I mean, really, really good. I really liked it. So we got Cindy. Nice to see you, Cindy. Yeah, there you go. And we got Alex. Alex has moved from Tuesdays and Thursdays. She's made the leap to Wednesday night.
I always come on Wednesday.
What? I
Always come on
know.
Wednesday. But I wanted to say, I always knew I didn't have a floor, but I did collect rugs. I have a backpack full of rugs if anyone wants to buy them.
Anu, it's always nice to see. I love that word name, Anu.
You say it, it sounds really good. Thank you, Paul.
Anu, always Anu, always Anu. That's very nice. That's a very verbing word. Yeah, Anu. I like it. Yeah. All right, nice to see you, hon. So nice to see you. We got Tommy, wherever you are. Nice to see you, Tommy, or not see you. Stefan on having never left. I think you were the theme of the talk tonight. Yes, it's very good. We got Linda, always a pleasure. Right underneath Linda's Mary G. Those two are becoming a posse, I think. Yeah.
Hi, Paul.
Jose
Hi,
Michelle.
Linda. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Yeah.
Paul, I just wanted to say thank you. When you were talking about being ourselves reality, it just hit me. How could I possibly ever be a noun? And I have the choice between being reality or being my miserable self with full of agitation and buying much more shit than just rugs. So thank you very much. Really helpful.
The
And
rug start. Yeah. After the rug, you need to get lamps. Then it goes on and on and on.
I
Yes.
know the routine. Thank you.
Yeah.
This
Oh,
was
you're
great.
welcome. We have Joyce, our future dog watcher. I got to be very nice to Joyce.
Aspiring to the
Nice.
position.
There's so much competition. I don't know. It's going to be a tight race.
Wait, I've
Who's
already
going to get?
chosen.
Who's?
I've already chosen.
We got Johannes from Germany. We're both having the same problem. The sun has gone down. I can't see anyone. We got
Thank you.
Nice to see you, my friend. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We got JP from Vietnam holding down the fort. Always a pleasure. Follow your little escapades. Keith. Yes. Yeah. You know, I wonder how wisdom is going to do in Boise. We'll see. See what happens. Yeah. May put out a certain frequency. Watch out. We have Monique, a dear old friend of mine from Kensington Square in Toronto. Nice to see you, Monique. Say hello to Mom. We got,
Love you,
let's
Paul.
see. I love you, honey. Always a pleasure. Come on down sooner or later.
Yeah.
We got the tent up.
Okay.
Yep.
Love to Amelia.
Yeah. Yeah, she's right here, I think. Brian, nice to see you, barely. Lights going down.
Yeah, first time appearance.
Oh, nice. Welcome.
I came in late. Apologies to the community. Pacific Northwesterner. Just enjoying the space and laughing quite a bit at how the carpets need to match the drapes.
That's right.
Yeah, I kind of wore the grooves out on the Jiddu Krishnamurti area, and when I stumbled upon you about a year ago or so, and it was like a renewal of what, I don't know how to put it in words. The resonance was sort of a seamless transition. So I'm just grateful that I found this community, and it's an honor to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you, Brian. Yeah.
Back at you, bro.
Yeah. I hope to see you. I'll see you again soon, I hope. Yeah.
Back at you.
All right. Let's see who else. Oh, Ben Clark is up and about. There he is. He just rose for a second. Nice to see you, Ben.
Yeah, Andrew, Paul. Thanks. It's great.
Oh, you're welcome. Anytime. We got Z. I haven't seen Z in a couple of days. The wind has been a little too strong. Nice to see you, Z. Tomorrow could be the day. Maybe you'll come over and have a coffee here. All right? Yeah. We got Susan, formerly known as Suzanne. Nice to see you. Yes, always a pleasure. We got Nina. Hope she gives me notice before she shows up. Nice to see you, Nina. We got Brahmi from India. I hope she's doing well there. I can't see her, but I can feel her. We got Stacy, one of my early whatever, someone I met in the early days. Yeah, nice
Hey,
to see you,
Paul.
Stacy.
You got more and more people in this room from Los Angeles. I think we're all ready for you to come down.
Well, let's do it. Yeah, maybe we'll do it in June. I want to go down anyway and stay in Port Hueneme, Hueneme, near Hueneme, near Ventura. So I can go in the water there. Yeah. So let's see. We'll work something out. I'll talk to Kyle and other people too. Thanks.
Mhm.
Yeah. We got John K. Always a pleasure. We got Jennifer. Jennifer is in Colorado now. Yes.
Thank you so much, Paul.
You're welcome, Jennifer. Always a pleasure to hear or not hear you. It's good. Yes. We got James. James the Big Lebowski. Yeah. He's got a lot going on. I'm happy he found a little time to come visit us again. Amelia, the love of my life. I can smell her before she get there. I can smell the dinner. Woo! Incredible. Let's see. We got Jim. Nice to see you again, Jim.
Thank you,
We
Paul.
met on the border the first time. It's nice. Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome. Kaiser's down in LA. Hopefully you'll be down there when I go.
Yeah, I'll be here till August. Good to see you, Paul.
Oh,
Hey.
really? Good. Well, I'll see you down there.
Cool.
Paul K. We got Susanna. Hey, Susanna, thanks for the donation.
Yeah, this is Long Island. I want to show you.
Oh, yeah, I know, PK. I see you. Oh, there's Long Island City?
Yeah, there's.
Yeah, it's better.
Well, it's looking out towards Long Island. Long Island. You see the horizon, the end of the world.
Yes, Long Island. I'm always looking out for Long Island. I don't want to step on Long Island.
Well, it's in
We got Keith again from Boise, PK
Back,
from
Keith.
Long Island City, John Luna. He's a Long Island boy. Yeah. We got Deborah M. We got
When you come to
Joe.
Long
Joe.
Island.
I don't know. I gotta. I'm still in that mode of not going anywhere, but it looks like it's changing. So I'm probably gonna go back east to do some talks sooner or later. So yeah, I'll announce it, John, and we'll meet. Yes.
Oh, that sounds good. Great. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Deborah M, nice to see you or not see you, but always see your picture. Joe, I think it's Joe from the Bronx. Always a pleasure. We got John R visiting from a little north of Byron Bay, Australia. Fantastic. It's another location we want to go. Amelia loves Byron Bay, so. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much. We'll be here tomorrow for the recovery and Saturday for non-duality. And so if you need to know what's going on, it's always on the zenbitslap.com under events. There's all the Zooms and everything, and any live ones if we start doing it. I think next week we'll have a live one at the house here where I live, so coinciding with the Zoom. Hey, thanks, everyone.